Welcome to the Total Pile Podcast. I'm Tyler Courtney. This is Brock Davis, who finally has a camera. We made it. People know who Brock is now, not locally, which is crazy. How does it feel? Do you feel liberated?
It feels like a new man.
Dude, a whole new person. I think your voice changed too. That's crazy. Computers are weird these days. Anyways, a lot to talk about. How was your weekend?
It was good.
Man,
Just kind
in
of,
a few words there. That's a good. That's a good recap there.
it was good. I didn't play a ton poke this
Nice.
weekend.
I didn't either.
Um, I
Only
did like,
live.
I did some coaching sessions, but besides that, nothing really too major.
No, I went and played golf, and then
Okay.
I
You
did
shoot,
play. I did
what you
play.
shoot 100?
No, I don't keep score. It's how many beers do you drink in a round? That's more of a my kind of game type of thing.
Okay, so like,
No, I don't play for score. No, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you what distance my clubs hit for each type of shot. I have my friends
is it
like
one of those where it's like, you can throw the club further than you can hit the ball?
no, I'm like okay, I could play golf, but I don't take the
Okay.
time to be invested into that side of it. So like my friends are like, "Where's my rangefinder at?" I'm 123rd down slope hill, like they're Tiger Woods of the amateur golf scene, and I'm just sitting here like, just tell me a number club, dude, and I'll hit it, and I'll try to hit it straight. Um,
You
that's
smack
my
it.
main thing is I just can't hit the ball straight every time. It's like playing with Lugia. Like I can set up most of the time, but sometimes I'll just biff left or right. It's just the way it goes. Like you'll just take a hard turn left, and I've never
Sometimes
hit
you'll have
anybody.
6 energies in your hand.
Sometimes you'll just have six energies and you can't play the game exactly. And like I thrive off of free balls. Like I'll find free balls all the time looking for my own ball, and I'll just play off that. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I found a ball. Like that counts.
close enough.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't need to keep score. I won't play in any golf tournaments anytime soon. I already have which golf is an expensive hobby by itself anyway. And plus
That's an understatement.
Pokemon. That's why I play Pokemon. It's affordable. Anyways, enough about golf. I did get to play in locals. Shout out
Okay.
to locals here. They opened up a new play area. They bought I don't even know what it was. It must have been just like an abandoned room, I guess, next door. And they made a hole in the wall and they just expanded their store about like got a good 200 square feet probably. It's a good amount.
Okay.
It's a good amount. They moved the entire card area out of the actual store itself into a card area. And like the card area is already big enough, like it was. If it like 30 Yu-Gi-Oh players and we'd have like at most 30 Pokemon players in all divisions playing at the same time in one area. And they just moved that to an entirely different, like basically room in the strip mall that they just bought, which is super
Got
cool.
you.
Yeah.
Is your store like mostly Yu-Gi-Oh or
That's the biggest like scene. They don't sell any. They might sell Yu-Gi-Oh singles. They're not in any cases or anything. I'm only there on Sundays. Like I can't tell you what their weekly schedule looks like. But like on Sunday they play My Hero, um, Yu-Gi-Oh. I've seen people just free play and Magic in there before. Pokemon's also on Sundays. I think Magic is Saturdays and Commanders Monday. They do a ton of stuff. It's a massive store. And they have singles for God knows about everything because they have like the computers that you just pop in their TCG player store,
oh
and
you
you get
got
and they pull up through that,
I
which is
know what you
crazy.
mean.
Yeah, it's basically just like they use TCG player as their computer system, and then they just pull the
Yes.
cards into their inventory off that.
Yeah. There's a store in Nashville that does something like
It's
that.
super simple, and then like the only negative part about it is like this like for whatever reason their prices don't regulate with market price. So like they don't want us to do that, but they won't change it. So I pre-ordered my hyper aroma and my super scoop up from them. but they wanted me to still pay $15 for it after release. And I was like, bro, this is a $3 card now. Like, oh, it is a $3 card. Here's your $3 card. I was like, okay, sick. So I'm only paying $3. It just doesn't change on its own like that for whatever reason.
Oh, so like they'll honor like
They'll honor the
updated
market price. Yeah, they'll honor the. I mean, like obviously, like TCG players' market price is relative because some people throw in like Japanese cards in there or whatever, so it makes it look wonky. But they'll ballpark it based off the first verified sellers and stuff like that. So they're super cool about it.
I got you.
Yeah. Also, they didn't give me 3 extra Buddy Buddy Poffins, so I don't get to play stamp Buddy Buddy Poffins. So we kind of really upset about it. I was upset.
My the store I'm sponsored by, they gave me mine.
Yeah, see that? Yeah, get 3 more. I want to play the cool stamp Buddy Buddy Poffins. And if you guys didn't know, we're talking about the ones that have like the old school Play Pokemon logo behind the words, right? Not the ones from the play packs. The new ones that got started handing out this weekend, right? This was the first weekend in June.
Technically, yes.
Technically, yeah. So they are by the book. The store is very by the book, though, so I can't blame them for that. And I never will. I want them to lose events or anything like that. Anyways, all right, so let's hop into it. We got new cards to talk about. We got Japan to talk about. And we have a whole tournament to talk about, which is now currently at like 3,444 players registered on RK9. I couldn't think of the word. So there's so much to go over here. And we're going to hop right into the new cards. If you want to follow along, we're on Tuan Lei's Twitter. But during the Japan Championships, they released cards that will be part of Scarlet and Violet 7, or I think it's going to be our Fables set, right? The Poison Chain Dudes set. And there's some very impactful cards. Makes me wish I was able to play in Worlds. Brock might have to take into account some of these cards because there is, I would say, 3 specifically that change the entire game. And the rest might just help impact that change, not necessarily be impactful themselves. So the first one we're going to go over is the Bouffalant with the ability Curly Wall. That needs to be a better name than that. If you have any other Bouffalant in play, your basic colorless Pokemon takes 60 less damage from your opponent's attacks. You can only apply 1 wall ability at a time, and then for 3 energies for 130. Obviously, the abilities the main factor here. I wish it had a little bit more HP, but like then again, like it's also reducing 60, so like I understand why it only has 100 HP. If you don't have another Bouffalant in play, you do just get knocked out by Spit innocently, which is too funny. But yeah, this card is relevant because of an EX we'll talk about here in a second. But 60 damage reduction in any form is a lot. Like that's what, 30 more than Defiance Vest, right? Defiance Vest shall reduce it by 30.
Yes.
And then I can't think of anything else that reduces damage right now besides Defiance Vest. To be honest with you, normally there's more than that. In this format, I don't think there is. You know of a card? No, it's okay if you don't. So I don't know any of them.
There's one other one, but it's like not the only relevant one. Right
is it an
now.
ability? It might be.
Yeah, it's like abilities. There's a couple abilities that do it like in niche scenarios.
Well, speaking of niche scenarios and super cool abilities, I just hit the back arrow. That's crazy. Forward. We scroll down to the Noctile, which I haven't seen a Noctile in a long time in TCG.
Hasn't been a good Noctile in a long.
But even just one in general.
I don't know if there's ever been a good.
There's hadn't been a good Noctile before. It came out 22 years ago. I'm looking for Pokemon Card IO. Pokemon Card IO. There we go. There's gotta be there's a usable Noctile somewhere. Nope. I can't read that ability. Neogenesis, maybe? Nope.
It came out.
Nope. E-Series, maybe? We did have one in Temporal Forces. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
We had one last set. You may search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand, shuffle your deck. That's kind of broken. It's basically Greninja, but better. That's what it is. It's Greninja EX, but better. I guess so. Oh, the Shining Noctowl was good. I guess not really, but like that's the coolest card I could think of. The Shining one from like Neo Destiny. Anyways,
Sure.
it's like a Thrift Fleet coins, and you can sleep, poison, and paralyze all of them for 3.
Okay.
We're talking old school. It's got 60 HP as a stage, as a basic, because it's shining. Anyways, Noctowl is in this new set. And the ability is once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, if you have any Terra Pokemon in play, you search your deck for up to 2 trainer cards and reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck. And then the key thing is here, it is trainer cards. I did not misspeak there. It is any 2 trainer cards. So you can get a supporter and a tool, or a supporter and an item, or an item and a tool, or a stadium and a tool. Like all of these fit the bill. It's all trainer cards. This card's nuts. Any thoughts on Noctowl?
The Noctowl. So this opens up a lot of like things with decks like the Palkia Inteleon again. It's like basically just another Inteleon engine for these like terror types. Like search your deck for 2 item cards. It's just not as broken because of the fact that there's no net. There's no scoop up net. Yeah.
You could Turo. That could just be it could be just your supporter per turn every time they get the 2 other cards.
It doesn't feel great.
It doesn't, but like technically it's your supporter is search for any 2 cards technically.
Yeah.
Which is like super good. Technically.
Yeah.
But you have to evolve and stuff, but not obviously I'm not gonna do that. But like this Noctowl card is super good. The one thing that is interesting is if any older decks can utilize this. Like obviously we'll talk about an EX here in a second that makes this card broken, even more so than it is. But like, does Dragapult play a 1/1? Does Charizard play a 1/1 instead of playing Pidgeot? There's only 1 prizers, right? Like the thought, I mean, obviously the consistency of Pidgeot is broken, but like to not have a 2 prizer in play to do that, is that trade off worth the squeeze? Especially if you already have a Charizard set up, probably not. But like, this allows for creative deck building to happen because of the next couple cards we'll talk about. And Noctowl will be relevant for a while. It is weak to lightning though, so Iron Hands does just wreck it. Yeah. So Iron Hands is still good. I mean, that's the same thing. Next card we'll talk about is a supporter card, Crispin, who I have no idea who that is. Do you know who Crispin is?
No idea.
That's fine. Cool. Sick. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards of different types, so the Mirage Gate effect. Reveal them, put 1 in your hand, and attach the remaining energy to your Pokemon in play. Then shuffle your deck. I wonder how they word it like that. Just kind of bugs me. It also bugs me like an Evo Pokemon. Like when you evolve one of your Pokemon, it only evolves from Hoot, dude. What are we talking about? Anyways. But put 1 into your hand and they attach the remaining energy to your Pokemon in play. This is the supporter version of Mirage Gate.
Yes. I think it's a little better than the Mirage Gate, but yes.
How so? I would love to hear you dive into that.
Because you don't need 7 in the loft.
Well, okay, well, yes, that is
very.
It is.
I think it's more splashable. It's like you don't need like all these different things. It's like it's just kind of there.
I think a lot of cards will play this. Like this instantly replaces Mela, in my opinion, in any deck that played Mela before. This also replaces probably any deck that plays the Hassle right now. Right, because it's just a card that you could play whenever, right? Like I've been playing Hassle in that Lost Box recently, and it seems fine. It's just like a weirder Colress, in my opinion. Anyways, but like most of the time you're grabbing energy off it anyway. Out of 8 cards, right? You have to kind of grab energy there. But the 2 basic energy cards are different type. This is a very Terra-centric format, it seems like this is going to be a very common theme happening for the next probably 2 sets, right? I didn't see, or they haven't been revealed yet. There hasn't been any future ancient cards revealed yet in this set. They're definitely moving on to more of the Terra type focused, like they were at the beginning of Scarlet and Violet. Very much heavy Terra only support type of stuff, which is super cool because I think Terra typing is super chill. And most Terra types either have high energy attack costs or they're, dragons. They have different energy costs. Like you could play this, like imagine this in a Giratina deck or Giratina Arceus, like Arceus Giratina. Like you could just find like, instead of having to use Arceus attack, you could just get a Crispin off Brilliant, or what's it called?
I know what you mean.
The V-Star power.
Yeah.
You could just find Crispin and then attach the other energy, and then you're set. Like you're rolling. There's so many applications for this card. Dude, Reggie Drago V-Star could play this card in a heartbeat.
Sure.
It's super cool. Super, super cool. The next card that really hits home into the theme of the Terra types is Glistening Crystal, which is an Apex, bro. What? A-Spec Pokemon tool card. This is the first A-Spec that has reminded me of like an old school tool one, like the Victory piece.
Yeah.
Or like G Booster and stuff like that. Obviously, this isn't Pokemon specific, but it kind of is. Attacks of your terrestrial Pokemon this card is attached to cost 1 energy less of any type. So it's like, I guess the best way to describe it is it's as it is, but like 1 rainbow energy less. Most effects like Ursaluna and Charizard just remove the colorless from the attack, but they're just removing any type of energy you want from the attack, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's really good.
I
don't know how much it changes anything, but it's really good.
I don't think it changes the main decks that we play now, but like you can play this. It's just terrestrial type, which is a new type, right? It's not just Terra type, right? So you can't attach this to Dragapult and make it a fire only.
Yeah, you can.
No, because I thought it was just a Terra type. Hold on here.
Yeah.
Because the way the wording here, let me pull up Dragapult then real fast. I think Dragapult, because Dragapult's still technically a dragon type.
No, but it's a Terra.
But this says terrestrial, not Terra.
Yeah, what do you think Terra is short for?
I understand, but what's the new classification on the EX we're about to read next?
Stellar.
Oh. I guess it is, technically. All right, so you can attach this to Dragapult and put
they're
this
all
on.
Terra types.
They're all Terra Pokemon. So yeah, Dragapult, Charizard. Think of a crazy one that would need this. Blastoise could attach for 1 energy. That's kind of sick. No, it can't.
That's an EX.
It's an
It's
EX.
just normal, yeah.
What else? There's so many Pokemon that are Terra types. I can't even think of them. Those are the main 2 ones that are relevant right now.
Yeah.
I guess Ogerpon technically can use them. Oh, you can play this with like the Ogerpon mask switching deck. Those are all Terra types technically. And then you could like use the fire masks attack for 2 energies instead of 3, and then one of them doesn't have to be fire anymore. It'll just be fire or colorless.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of gross. I might be playing that. That'd be cool. But yeah, I think the only question is it better than Prime Catcher in some decks or Reset Stamp and whatnot? The right deck will play this. And the EX we'll talk about here in a second, that we'll talk about for a while, it seems like, will be the main use for this. And then like the Lapras and stuff that you talked about pre-podcast that got leaked a while ago, which I didn't know this. We'll play these as well. The next one we're talking about is Fan Rotom, which this is my favorite Rotom form for sure. I love the Fan Rotom. That's my favorite. Once during your first turn, you may search your deck for up to 3 colorless Pokemon with 100 HP or less and put them into your hand. You can't use more than 1 Fan Call ability during your turn. and the attack is 1 colorless energy for 70. If there's a no stadium in play, this attack fails. That's kind of crazy. I haven't heard attack fails in a while.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
But yeah, actually, this Rotom ability seems nuts because like you can get Pidgey, Barrel, and a Hoot Hoot all with one ability. If you wanted to play all 3 in a deck.
Yeah.
Which heck, you know what? I just thought of this. We might now. I think we might actually.
Funnily enough, yeah.
We might actually be playing all 3 with this next card, but the ability to find Pokemon out of the hand like that is super cool. Obviously, actually, you can nest ball for this. I just, after rereading it, you can nest ball it, then use the ability. It doesn't say play it from your hand to the bench. It says once during your turn, your first turn. So you can nest ball for it. You can buddy poffin for it, and then use the ability to find the rest of them, which is crazy. You can play Wings and Union and find all your Ditto. You could do that. You could. You could find all 3 Ditto from Go, and then attack with everything else.
Yeah, good.
You could. I bet Alex Szymanski loves this card now. 100%. I bet he does love it. He's our warrior for sure. Side note: did you see he tried to ban Dragapult because Wings and Union's back?
What do you mean ban Dragapult?
Yeah, he tweeted out as soon as it was back in the day of the Dartrix getting released. He tried to petition that Dragapult should be banned so he could play Wings of Union at Worlds. Just throwing it out there. Or I guess it's United Wings. I keep calling it the Japan attack because the Japan attack sounds way cooler, but it is United Wings. All right, so here's the big one here. Terapagos EX. Brock, have you seen this Pokemon before? But until today.
I've seen it in like the trailers for.
You saw it on the Pokemon video of the DLC trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you watched the new anime on Netflix?
No.
You're a loser. Me and my kids love that thing. It's so cool. Anyways, Terapagos EX. This card is sick. And because for all of us old heads out here, this card is amazing. Union Beat. I hope it's a better attack name. I do. You can't use this attack if you're going. You can't use this attack if it's your first turn going second, which that kind of weird stipulation there's never been seen before. But 30 damage for each of your bench Pokemon. It's 30 times. So it's 150 a turn. Not great, right? Whatever. That's okay. And then the second attack is Crown Opal. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by non-colorless basic Pokemon. So it can't be hit by anything in Lost Box except for Ursaluna. And it can't be... am I describing that right based on how I read it? It can only be hit by colorless Pokemon that are basic.
I would assume so.
During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by non-colorless basic Pokemon. Yeah, so the Ogerpons can't touch it. The Iron Hands can't touch it. Evolutions still can, obviously. But yeah, it's basically just like, Lost Box does nothing to me. Now, when you read this, it sounds super underwhelming. And we're all aware of that. Because 150 damage, like, bro, just play Dripplin and Thwackey with Max Belt. Like, why would I be playing this card instead? The reason why this card is relevant now is the last card we're going to reveal. It's Area 0 Under Depths. Players with a Terra type Pokemon in play may have up to 8 benched Pokemon. If this card gets discarded, or if any player has no Terra type in play anymore, they discard bench Pokemon until they have 5. If both players discarded this card, owners choose first. So if you play the card, you decide you have to discard first. But this is Skyfield. Skyfield's back. And for those of you who aren't old enough to know what Skyfield is, Skyfield was released back during X and Y. I couldn't tell you the specific sect though. It's what?
Roaring Skies.
Yeah, we're talking. This is Mega Rayquaza colorless territory. And it's actually a direct reprint. It's 30. It was Rayquaza 30 plus or 30 times. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
30. It's 30 times.
Yeah, it's literally a direct reprint of Mega Rayquaza, the colorless one. And it actually has 10 more extra HP, or else it'd be the exact same card, which is kind of crazy.
Well, it was a Mega, so I had to technically evolve it.
Well, I know, but like just even the power curve that we just realized right there at that moment in time.
Yeah, it's not. The thing is, it's still not great.
And it's not weak to lightning, which is super good for us in this scenario because Iron Hands is around. But imagine if regular Rayquaza was just a thing and just got Iron Hands for 3 prizes all the time. Anyway,
Sure.
With this stadium in play, 30, you could decap at 240. You can't attack with it on turn 1. Which, like, that is the craziest part of the card. They knew it would be broken turn 1, so you can't do it. But like, overall, this card still seems crazy because it has access to Sharon's Care and DTE and Pidgeot and Hoot Hoot and Barbarrel, and you get to have 8 bench spaces, and you can play the Bouffalot that we mentioned earlier. All of these cards are trending into this just being one big, giant deck. Because you can even play the Crispin to pull off the second attack. That's 3 energies, all of different types. It's a water, a grass, and a lightning. Throw the A-Spec on it, play a Crispin, water, lightning that. You can play it with anything you want. That's the craziest thing. It seems super cool. I'm more excited just for the Rayquaza EX type attack. Because I was a big Ray Eels fan, even though
Ray boy.
Yeah, man. Rayquaza is the coolest. I have the mat up there. It's like the top left, and it's like kind of cut off on my camera right now.
Oh, I
but
see.
Like, yeah, it's like I bought that off eBay, to be honest with you. But like, it's still like Rayquaza is just sick. And the biggest thing with this deck is like it allowed for so much more flexibility. And it was almost like a different type of play because like right now we have the very popular play of I collapse Stadium Away my Luminion or my Rotom or whatever. Like if you just play Skyfield or whatever, what's this called again? Area 0 Under Depths.
It's Area 0.
I might just call it Under Depths, to be honest. Because I guarantee you we get another Area 0 stadium. That's not this. Because Area 0. Because like you could do,
but the Area 0 was just basically the. No, there was like that top level where you had like abandoned research.
There's 4 levels to. Well, I don't even know how many there is because like this is like Area 0 Under Depths.
Technically, I think there's 4. No, there's 4.
Well, that's just in the
there's
first part
4
of the
research
game.
stations.
That's
just 4 research
right,
stations.
but that's just part of the first part of the game. This crystal stuff is from like the DLC, which you probably never saw. Yeah.
Oh, some of it, but the Under Depths was just.
Maybe. You think I played? I don't know. I played the original story, and then that was it. Called it a day.
I did too.
But
I think I have it bought, but I never played.
I did complete the Teal Mask stuff. I haven't done the Blueberry Academy stuff.
Yeah, I never did the Ogerpon stuff.
I just wanted the cool.
I didn't know what an Ogerpon was until I saw it.
Ogerpon's cool. That's sick. That's a cute little guy. Anyways, Area 0 Under Depths. God, this card is so cool. It makes the game so much more fun. The only thing that sucks is for people who are unorganized like myself, I can't fit 8 basic Pokemon on my playmat without complaining about it. I just can't do it.
2 rows of 4.
No, see, but that's just annoying. It's just like it's so awkward, and like then I have to. If I play a Switch cart and you're playing Lost Box, imagine you have 8 Pokemon on your bench, and you just like. You can't.
Yeah,
like,
you're ever gonna have 8 in Lost Box.
Yeah, you can't.
Bro, I normally have like 3.
I bench Hoopa.
Max.
I bench Hoopa EX, and then I can play my extra bench Pokemon.
You mean your fan Rotom? Hoopa EX is fan Rotom now, basically.
Yeah, I mean, no. The fighting one, the energy drive.
Nobody
one.
plays that one.
You have to have a Terra type on your bench to activate the
That's
ability.
what I'm saying. Nobody's gonna play it in Lost Box.
I know you're not, but like you can.
Why just play Wellspring? Wellspring masks better than
You
that.
could. I mean, you might as well. Is that a possibility? Maybe. But I can Greninja. I have 8 spots on my bench. I don't care. I'm playing Ursaluna and Greninja. I don't know. Who needs Wellspring? Wellspring's terrible.
That's awful.
100 to the active and 120 to the bench. Nah, dude, I'm good. I'll do 90 wherever I want. Anyways, Area Zero is super cool. And this will be a deck I think that'll be good for a while, especially because it has damage reduction, it has heal, it can play Penny and Turo and Sharon's Care. It's very control proof with the Noctowl being a stage 2. You can play Pidgeot. Like, there's just so many different things this deck can do with 8 bench spots. And you can play it with any Terra type Pokemon you want. So, like, heck, you could even, with a Crispin being involved, like, so many different decks are going to be changed, it seems like. I think Crispin might be the better card out of the 3 that we're talking about, which is the Stadium, the Terrapagos, and the Crispin are the 3 main cards that I think will be from the set of SV7. And those are the 3 main ones. The tool card's the tool card. I don't really care about the tool card. Like, you could play this even in, like, oh gosh, I have no idea. Imagine you could just Crispin instead of playing Xatu and Dragapult. Like, that just seems crazy to me, because then you can touch the second one from hand. You could then Pidgeot for the item card you missed to get a second one in play, or whatever, right? Like, or set up a second attacker in Ursaluna, or just further your board state with Pidgeot, not have to worry about the energy part of it. You don't have to play Neo Upper Energy anymore. You can actually play an A-Spec. And just regular Dragapult Pidgeot.
I think this does make Dragapult Pidgeot a lot better.
Yeah, the Spore card's sick.
I think this actually makes the deck, like, I could see this make Dragapult a viable pick for anybody going to Worlds.
Yeah.
Because before I was like, I don't even think this deck's even functional. That's how I felt about it, at least.
Yeah, I'm still fencing. I still like it a lot, unfortunately. That's the hard part, is I still like it a ton. It's a ton of fun to play. Anyways, but we'll talk about that in a second. But those are all the new cards. Any final thoughts on those?
Bunch of cool cards. We'll see what they actually do.
Yeah. And we talked about it a little bit prior. If you want to look into more, Twan Lay's Twitter has all the translations and reveals. And then if you don't know, and I didn't know this, so this is a good thing for you if you didn't know. If you type in Lapras EX or Cinderace EX, these are this new Terra / Stellar type the Terrapagos is, was part of the cards that was leaked. I mean, Brock said, you said 6 months ago?
No, it was Orlando.
During Orlando? When was Orlando?
Like 3 months ago.
Okay, so all right, I was close. Half the distance. That's fine. Yeah, that's we know this new stellar type of Terra type will be around for a little while. There's at least 4 now, correct? 5.
Something like that.
Something like that. Sick. Okay, so over the weekend, and we'll hop right into this, was the Japan Championships, where I think it's the top 16 qualify for Worlds, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Does that sound right to you?
So I think it was the top 16, and if anybody in the top 16 already had their invite,
it expands.
I think down. I think it got bumped down.
And that may or may not be true. We don't want to. And it sounds right. Like, why would you give somebody a double invite?
No, that's how the Japanese invite system.
No, I'm just putting the information out there that I'm not no expert in the Japan system. I know our system does not roll down. So, like, if you win the regional and you're already qualified for Worlds, that doesn't mean the second place finisher gets the Worlds invite. You know what I mean? Like, that would be sick, though. Like, Azul won 2 regionals. Like, imagine the guy or the person, I don't remember who got second in Stockholm, but whoever got second in Stockholm then gets his Worlds invite because he already has it. Well, actually, even further that point, No,
Well,
not,
it's a slippery slope because
I
like how
understand.
far down does that go?
Well, and
And
that's
like do you lose it later on? Because
well,
like
like even
because when
this,
Azul won his first regional,
he was already
he
qualified
didn't
for
have his
Worlds.
invite.
No, he did because
Well,
he got top 4 at Worlds. He already had it.
he got top 4 at Worlds, but like
He's
that's
already auto
qualifying
qualified. He's already auto qualified. So he would just move
but
the invite down.
so but let's say it's when Jesse Parker or when Jesse Parker no he got second. So.
He got second. So right, and like, and the guy who he
But
lost to didn't
we
have a
have a
Worlds invite.
point structure invite, so it'd be like
I
impossible to
understand.
do that.
I agree, but like, I mean, it's not impossible. But like,
No, because then do you lose it if you get enough points? Does it go
lose
to the
what?
next person? So like if you win a regional and then you get 500 or 600 points, does it like retroactively go down because they've already qualified
Well, here's the
for
crazier.
worlds based off of
Here's the
points?
crazier part. I don't think you get 600 points for winning a regional.
No, you don't. But I'm
Yeah.
saying
So
like
like,
if somebody wins a regional
yeah.
and then later in the season they end up getting over 600 points, because almost everybody that wins a regional, not everybody, not especially not this year,
Yeah.
they keep playing. Like Ryan Antonucci already had his invite when he won.
Yeah, so it
When
would
he
just
won
roll down.
Knoxville.
And then you're saying, will it proactively go back? Would
Yeah,
Jesse
that's what I'm
Parker
saying.
then get a Worlds
Yeah,
invite based off of Andrew Estrada getting a Worlds invite already? Like,
exactly.
I don't know. You probably could figure that out. They have all the time in the world to figure these things. There's 3
Yeah,
months
but they can't
between
even fix
NAIC
their
and Worlds.
online client. They can't even fix their
I'm
online
not
client.
saying the company's good. I'm just saying they have 3 months to do all the calculations. That's why they moved NAIC up, right? That was the rumor. We're having NAIC so early, we have to cut off all the cups in June because NAIC has to be the last tournament so we can count all the points to make sure they're legit. So might as well just throw in
No,
retroactive
they're
Worlds
doing
invites.
no, they're doing it because they're redoing the whole world structure next year.
Maybe. Rumors. That's all speculation. Technically. Is it confirmed?
No. I
No.
just know people higher up that have
Yeah,
told me
we
what's going
might
on.
be. It could be. I hope it does. I hope it's. As long as it's not the Evo system, I'm chill. I think the Evo system was garbage. But that's a different old person argument for a different day. Um. Anyways, back to Japan. Japan in this, they are currently playing the same format as our NAIC format, obviously from the Champions League in Sapporo a few weeks ago or months ago. It was what, April? I think they had that. Anyways, this is their. I think there was like almost 4,000 players at this thing. Am I right in saying that? It was a ton of
It was a
players.
lot.
A lot of players. But Lugia takes down the entire thing. And I think there's only one interesting card in this entire list. Everything else is the exact same Lugia as it is now, right? They just added Blood Moon Ursaluna, Legacy Energy, and then they added an older card that wasn't normally played, which is the um Screamtail. No, what's it called? Dang it! What is it called? The Mysterious.
That's Maggie's?
Yeah, it's the Paradox version called?
Fluttermane?
Fluttermane. They added the ancient Fluttermane. That shuts off the abilities of your opponent's active Pokemon. The only thing I could think of for this is a good Lost Box counter and Quad Iron Thorns. Is there another reason you see for playing the Fluttermane in this scenario?
Stall.
Could play it against Stall. That is good too. And he could have a control like that. But even then, I think you already had a good Stall matchup anyway with all the energies and whatnot.
Probably.
Anyways, long story short, Lugia wins the whole thing. There's nothing crazy about this list. It's a 4-4 or 4-3 Minchino line. They're playing the Legacy Energy. They play one Iron Hands and one Blood Moon Ursaluna. And it's just Lugia. I think the interesting thing that also we didn't notice is, like, I didn't notice when I was reading the list at first, there's not a single Carmine in here. It's all old school. It's just 3 Research, 1 Jock, 3 Boss, 3 Iono, and then the 16 or so energy, right? 4, 4, 12, 13, 17 energies. That's crazy. I mean, it's Lugia numbers, though. It's Miraidon numbers. It's up there. And then the stadium of choice was Jamming Tower to turn off Raging Bolt, Ogre Pawns,
Guardy.
Bravery Charms, and Guardy's Bravery Charms, and all the escape boards out there, the rescue boards out there. Um, yeah, that's just Lugia. There's nothing crazy to it. Um, thoughts? I mean, we've been hating on Lugia for a while now,
I'm
but
not a fan of Lugia.
it's
I never have been.
it's done well, done very very well. I think it was 4 out of the top 8 we can talk about. Let me go back to a different tab here. I think it was 4 of the top 8 if I pull up the right tab here. Yeah, 4 of the top 8 was Lugia. 6, 5, 4, and first was all Lugia. And I don't know how many differences they each played. Some smaller Minccino lines, some bigger. Um, obviously, not every list played the Flutter Mane, but they're all nothing. There's nothing crazy about them. One played a Roseanne's backup to get back the Legacy energy, which I thought was super cool. Um, which I don't know how that wasn't standard forever. Imagine just playing a deck with an Iron Hands, then you lose your Legacy energy, and then never being able to play the Iron Hands because your Legacy energy's gone. Uh,
Because you should only be attacking with the legacy energy once, unless you're like the Roseanne is just a card that doesn't do anything to help you set up.
I mean, yeah, but how many times have we won a game against Lugia because they ran out of energy? They're like one energy short.
Almost for me, almost never.
It happens to me all the time. I don't know if it's bad Lugia players or what. Like I literally won.
Yeah, that's what it
I
is.
double snipe both Archeops. They're missing one energy
Well,
to.
yeah, if you kill both Archeops, then they don't
So
have
then
energies
yeah,
left.
so recovering energies is super important in that scenario.
They don't have Archeops to accelerate it, so how are they going to find the one of energy?
They have like play 16 of them. They'll draw them with gift or whatever. I don't know. But it's fine. I think it's a really cool card, and it gets the stadiums back as well. And they don't play any tools in this list, so that doesn't really do any of that. But the energy in the stadiums back is pretty cool. Um, I always thought Roseanne's backup was a decent card. I never played it in a deck, but I always thought it was like the
I played
concept
it
of
in
it.
Mew.
The concept of it is super cool. It's like a extreme rescue stretcher type of thing, which is cool in my opinion.
Played it in Mew VMAX for a little bit.
You put it in View VMAX?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean you have only 4
To
DTE?
get double, I was going to say you get your double turbo back. You played a Heroes Medal, which made your Mew VMAX a two prizer. So
Yeah.
you go like you hit them with two. It was
Yeah, that's
just it
old
was really
school.
good.
Yeah, that is old. It's very old school. But yeah, everything's very heavy Minccino. It makes me think
Yeah.
I should have played more Lugia in this week lead up. But then again, like I still don't think it's solid like that. Only one of the
Oh,
lists,
I think Lugia is insane.
only one list played Radiant Charizard, which I thought was interesting. I think like it's just
Not
like
very good in the deck.
it's just a one prizer instead of a two prizer, right? Like it's the same concept of playing the Blood Moon or Saluna, and then they play the Legacy Energy, and this deck also played one Luminous Energy instead of the V Guard, which I don't like that. Like that just
It's
seems
just
weird.
off the. Well, so the thing is like the reason the Charizard's not getting played is because it's you have two bad starters against control
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Um, this list also played a one of Block Snorlax. I don't know if you saw this or not. They played a one of Block
Oh,
Snorlax.
that's
Just auto win
kind of
some.
makes
It
sense.
just because it's a best of one and day one, so I'm assuming he didn't take it out of his list just in case he could win a cheeky game two by stopping his opponent from switching. Um, Played the Block Snorlax, and then only a 2/2 Minccino Cinccino line. I don't like that. That's not a me
I don't
thing.
know. But you have to cut. Like the thing is like if you're playing the Luminous and you're playing the Radzard and you're playing this Block Snorlax, like you have to find
Yeah,
the cuts. And it's playing a Thornton.
yeah, the Thornton, man. Thornton, actually, did
That's
you see it
bad.
on
That's kind of
Twitter?
bad.
No, forget how bad.
No,
No, did you see the juniors final? The
no.
kid won with Thornton. He just had I want to say it was a Minccino, the little baby one, and then like a super poor starter. And he Thorntoned to the Lugia V Ultra
Oh,
Balled Archeops away to get V Star
V-Star.
and then Accelerate.
That's crazy.
It
That's
was
kind of
crazy. It
crazy.
was a crazy card. I never thought about it once, but yeah, as
That
long as
makes. I
you
mean, it
could,
makes
like,
sense.
might as well, right? Like, it's another
I
out to
mean, because like,
Lugia V.
how does Blood Moon? Well, no, yeah,
As
no
long as
Blood
it's a
Moon.
basic, as long as it's a basic in play, you can
They're
Thornton
against
it.
Well, I was thinking the Blood Moon, the Thornton would keep the effect of the Blood Moon on it, so the Iron Hands wouldn't be able to attack. I was thinking if you used the legacy
Correct.
on
Yeah. So if you
it,
attacked
yeah,
with Blood
because it
Moon,
keeps all effects
Thornton.
on. Yeah.
Right, but if you did that with a Lugia and then evolved it, then the effect goes away. So it's a different
Yes,
Pokemon.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So like, there's still cool things to play around with that.
There are cool.
Let's go to more exciting things other than Lugia, because like I don't know why. I'm just a Lugia hater. It's just a me thing.
I hate Lugia.
Based on these results, like it's great. Like 4 out of 8 in the money. Super cool. Like, where's the Miraidon at? Come on, dude. There was one Miraidon in top 16 though.
There was a lot of Miraidon, and the Lugias beat the Miraidon because
Yeah.
Miraidon can't handle a Blood Moon or Saluna.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very
Especially
strange.
2 Blood Moon or Salunas.
Yeah, if they recover one, if they do.
Well, they got the Thornton. Thornton might be broken.
I don't think anyone.
Thornton might be broken.
It might be broken. I might just sleep up Lugia now and just call it a day. Like, just like turn my brain off, play Lugia.
So I have a buddy at Orlando. He's never won like more than 2 or 3 games at a regional, and he started 4-1 at Orlando with Lugia.
Like, might as well.
He hadn't played the deck at all format, and he started 4-1.
Well, we could just tech anything. To be honest, we could just
No,
we could just tech.
I'm playing.
We could
I'm
just.
playing Gardevoir.
I'm just gonna tech Cornerstone Mask or something stupid. I could just like there's gotta be an A tech out there for everything. And they play 2 Jamming Tower. I can see it's over. I don't know. You could play a Dark Pokemon. I don't know. There's something. There's more to be discovered. But speaking of Dark type Pokemon, well, I have to mention it because it's my favorite card ever. It really is.
Ooh.
There's a Roaring Moon in top 8. Which is crazy, and like when I say there's a Roaring
It's like
Moon
an
in
old
top 8,
school moon.
it's Roaring Moon EX. No, there's only one Baby Moon in this entire list. There's
It's like a turbo. It plays a V Star, a
It plays a
Darkrai
Darkrai.
V Star.
Yeah, dude, we're playing Junk Hunt. We're playing Mew EX. We're playing Squawkabilly. We're playing
This is legit
Fluttermane.
just like
Iron Bundle. Iron Bundle seems really good.
pre-rotation.
Iron Bundle seems really good in this format for whatever reason.
Bundle just seems good in general with the whole meta. Like that's the thing. Bundle
Yeah.
just seems really good.
Bundle seems great. And then it's what's the craziest part about this is you could actually Moonlight Shuriken stuff. It plays 3 water energies.
Yep.
It's the craziest thing. It's very old school Moon.
Yeah. This is super high roll. I'm just gonna beat people.
And it's a 4 of deck, right? The only thing that's not a 4 of is Earthen Vessel and Switch cards. Everything else is a 4 of.
The canceling clone. I mean, it plays 1 of, but yeah.
Why would you play 4 canceling clone? I'm not gonna hold the guy against the guy.
Why would you play 1?
The only thing I'm
single
upset about is there's no Pokemon catchers. He's not playing 4 Pokemon. He plays playing 1 boss order and 1 prime catcher. I'm just gonna knock out everything with Roaring Moon EX. Like, okay, I get it, dude, but like, just play Pokemon catcher.
No. You can knock stuff out with Dark Pulse.
I'm just saying, the plan is to knock out 3.
And Fluttermane.
The plan is to knock out 2 prize Pokemon in a row with 3 Roaring Moons, and might as well just play.
And I just
Pokemon catchers.
I just take 4 prizes with my Gardevoir because I move 30 damage off with Monkey Door.
That's fine. Don't matter to me. It's totally cool. Totally fine. Totally fine. I'm surprised there's not even there's not a single ancient booster capsule in this list.
I don't think you have room for it.
I don't think
like something like this.
I mean, there's a will, there's a way. Seventh place list.
This is crazy.
I'm gonna butcher the name.
3K players.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is the last thing I would have expected on my radar in just general. So that's the craziest thing. The last deck in top 8 Oh, I guess there's two more. The obvious one is
Ogre
Ogre Raging Bolt. And we're seeing a lot of changes happening, I guess is the right word here. I don't know how else to describe it.
This is a pretty standard list.
It's pretty standard, but like I just feel like there's so much room. Like we saw the ones like some people aren't playing Pokemon catchers, some people are playing Force Stop, some people aren't playing the Superior Energy Retrieval and then upping the energy retrieval costs. Like there's so much flexibility. The one thing this did confirm for me in my head is that Sandy Shocks will always be better than the Cornerstone Mask. I saw people going back and forth between the two and whatnot, and it's just Sandy Shocks is just way too good in the into just in general, like a one prizer, the ability to attack, and we're talking about the one from Temporal Forces that does it's what 90 damage if there's 3 energy in play.
There's only like one situation where the Cornerstone is better, and that's against like Pidgeot control.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I even then
because it goes through the Noivern if they play the 1/1 Noivern.
How does it go through Noivern? Isn't it just basics?
The Cornerstone,
Cornerstone.
Not,
the
Cornerstone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's the one situation where the Cornerstone is better.
Yeah.
And against Zard, there's nothing in Charizard that can hit it, but you Oko everything with Teal Mask anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you don't need it. I've been playing this deck a lot. I just don't want to pay a bunch for the cards, to be honest. I'm missing all.
I sold all mine.
Well, thanks for the help, dude. Appreciate it.
Were you gonna pay $12 a piece for bolts and $20 a piece for
loyalty runs deep, my guy. Loyalty runs deep.
No, I sold them. Once I saw them jump, I sold them immediately.
I have 2 Raging Bolts, and that's it. That's all I have. And this deck is so much fun. It's very my style. But I'll be honest with you, I still don't think I'd play it because then you're just playing Raging Bolts mirrors for 9 rounds. There's gonna be so many playing.
There's a lot of people in my group that want to play this deck, and they keep trying to test against us, and like because it's me and one of my other buddies that's on Guardy, and like they keep trying to like one of their lists has 4 lost cities in it, and they still can't beat us.
It's just like even forget Lost City too, because like Gardevoir currently just plays like 1 of attackers. Like that's all you need is a 3 1 of attackers, and then you're done. And then maybe 1 Gardevoir EX attack, and it's game.
I mean, it slows us down, but the thing is like they just don't understand how it works because like you cannot bench Squawk ability against Gardevoir. You just cannot bench the Squawk. If you bench Squawk, you lost.
Yeah, it's currently on the online meta, Ogerpon into Gardevoir is a 31% win rate. Just throwing it out there.
That's probably generous.
I mean, like it's probably generous. That's the one thing this deck has going for it. It's very much 50-50 across the board. And obviously this is based on online results. We're not going to go in person, right? But this is one of the very few decks that could just show up and be like, hey, I'm taking a 50-50 everything, and we're going to roll with it. Like, for example, in the online meta, 50-50 versus Lugia. It's got a favorable matchup against Dragapult. It's almost 50-50 in the Lost Zone box, but I would think Lost Zone box is favored because it's single prizer for the most part. 45% into Dragapult Lost box, 50% into other, like it's favored against Greninja. Your stall matchup is probably the weird one. I think stall. You just lose to stall.
So I don't think you lose to.
You don't play the two.
It depends if but everything can attack besides your blue boys. You just can't bench your blue boys.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You know, like
if you bench your blue boys,
they play 4 flute, my guy.
You just fill your bench.
Yeah, easier said than done. But I'm the same way. I can Dragapult whatever I'm playing. You just fill it up with things that are usable. Like that's the counter to flute, right?
Well, that's the biggest reason why, or that's one of the reasons I just like Guardy right now is I just go 4 Ralts, evolve 1 up, and it's like I have an energy on each of my Ralts.
Yeah.
To go, I use the teleportation versus Ralts. I go to my bench, and you only play 4 catchers, and are you really gonna waste your Silene to get a 1 of catcher back? Maybe. But My lists are
Maybe.
playing. My lists are playing 2 boss and 2 Turos, so it's like
Um, uh,
it's hard.
and yeah, I think it's got great matchups across the board though. We can nitpick at stall, we can nitpick at all these things, but there's not a single matchup besides Gardevoir below 40%. And
Yeah.
so like
It's a solid pick.
I guess 28% into quad thorns. That's on here. 15 losses and 30
That was
or
probably
15 wins, 38
before they were
losses.
playing the Sanding Shocks.
Even if you are, dude, like it's just you turn
Because the
off.
Sanding Shocks just
Maybe you
outgoes
can
it.
you can never take. There's not a single ability you have though. It turns off every ability they have in the
Play one
entire
of
deck.
Canceling Clone. One of Canceling Clone.
I had one of our friends at locals, um, was trying to sell me quad thorns for NAIC. I was like, bro, I'll play you with Lost
I
Bolt.
have I have
I'll play you
I
with
have
Lost
4
Bolt right now, and
thorns.
I'll wreck you. And he's like, no way. I
Something
was like,
that
yeah, easy, dude.
the Raging Bolt prices that I'm just picking up 4 of every single EX. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, it's come to that point now. Might as well have
I'm
to.
just spending 50 cents on a 4 of set every single EX. Every set it comes out.
Yeah, might as well. Raging Bolt, super cool, right? Super good deck. The last one in top 8 that we haven't talked about, but we have talked about because Brock's already back on his train, is Gardevoir. And it's nothing different. I think the only card that
It's
Brock,
very different.
I,
Very different.
I think the only cards that are different, in my opinion, like, what I mean, like
It plays
the
2 Monkey Dory, no Greninja, it plays
the
Tatsugiri, it plays
yeah, so the
Klefki.
Klefki and the Tatsugiri are the ones that I was talking about. Those are the two main
Yeah.
differences I saw. But the trainer,
And
there's different, is the
most
exact same.
no, so like the boss and the counter catcher counts a flopped in this deck.
Because you're playing Tatsugiri. That's why you want to have the two
Yes.
bosses instead of the
You're
two
only
counter
playing
catcher.
1 nest ball.
Yeah, you play 4 Poffin. You're fine. You don't need. Because Nest Ball was only to get Greninja.
No.
Yeah, Nest Ball was only
So
to
like
get
the
Greninja.
thing, well, okay, so you kind of have to get 3 Ralts down because one's getting killed turn 1.
Yeah.
So that's what the nest ball was there for.
You just get double buddy Poffin. Be better.
Sure.
Be better. Get all 4 Ralts and play turn 1 with double buddy Poffin.
Yeah.
Be better.
I mean, this is quite a bit different.
The
Than,
one thing
what
I
I've
love
been
about this list, it does play Arvin instead of Irida. For whatever reason, the Sapporo Champions League list played the Irida because
played the Irida because it played the Hyper Aroma,
they played the Hyper Aroma, and I guess it valued the
which I think the
Greninja and the
Hyper
Mana
Aroma
Coma.
is better. That's
And then Stamp or
yeah.
Really? Yeah, a lot of decks are just so energetic deck accelerants. Like I played Stamp in a lot of different decks, so it just seems like Lugia versus
the
Stamp
thing is with
just colored.
Stamp. Well, the thing is like your good matchups, Stamp is better into, but you should already be beating them. And against your bad matchups, Stamp is bad, like really bad. Like Lugia is like a 50-50 matchup, and Stamp does nothing to Lugia.
Not a dang thing, bro. It doesn't do anything to
So
Lugia.
like, and against Chin Pao, doesn't really matter what you do against Chin Pao. You just need to set up. Like you just have to.
I think Stamp's more relevant to Chin Pao, obviously, than the Lugia. Because if you knock out a barrel Stamp, that's massive.
Yeah, but the thing is like your attackers are still taking a prize that turn because they just go Shivery Chill attached to
everyone's taking a prize against Gardevoir every turn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's cutting off their entire draw engine is massive. Stamp and the barrel knockout's huge. Whether it's Scream Tail, Drifloon, or even just Monkey
But Iono
Dory.
does almost the exact same thing. Like that's the thing. When like Hyper Aroma just lets you play the game. Like there's some games where if you miss that turn 2 Evo, you just literally don't play the game. So the Hyper Aroma just allows you to play the game, which if you're playing Gardevoir, you're a better player. Like if you're playing Gardevoir and you're not the greatest player, then you're not gonna have a good time. You have to know what you're doing with Gardevoir, and it's like just being able to play the game is so much more impactful than the massive combos you can do with Scream Tail and Drifloon with Unfair Stamp.
Yeah, for sure. I get it. I do love the Tatsugiri though. It does make you less reliant off refinement. I do like that a lot.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it is like you don't have room for rescue board, so you have to use your manual attachment every turn for
You
it.
could
And if
cut
you
a
just go,
monkey dory in this list that we're talking about, but I get what you're saying overall. Like you don't
but
have
if
to
you,
play
so
two monkey
you
dory.
want to start, yeah, like that's the thing. Is like I feel like you have to play your ninja.
Yeah, this like obviously this is not playing Greninja. I guess like I've been seeing this in like we'll talk about it here in a little bit. What's up with Klefki? Why is Klefki so cool now?
It so it stopped all basics. So like Lugia can't get Lumineon, Charizard can't do Rotom. It just auto beats Lost Zone. So basically, the way Lost Zone plays around your Flutter Mane is they go Iron Bundle around it.
Yeah,
But if you have Klefki and Flutter Mane, then they can't.
shuts off
Also,
every ability.
Klefki in the active just stops it. So
Yeah,
it forces them to either use the one of Boss or the one of Prime Catcher. But and if they're using one of those resources, they're not like the Col or the Prime they could still chorus. But if they boss, then they're not chorusing, and you're fine with that trade off.
yeah. I mean, like it's good into Ogre Pond too. Like, I mean, like it just shuts off.
Yes.
You can't
Well,
squawk
but you,
ability. It's
I
good
was
into
about to say you
Maridon now
already
that you think
do.
about it too. Like, I mean, just forget the
Yeah,
Gardevoir
yeah,
side
yeah,
of it.
yeah,
We're talking about just Klefki as a card because like
yeah, yeah,
no
yes,
one's
yes.
played Klefki in the past 4 months in any deck. Now all of a
You played
sudden
in majority, but yes.
it's in every single deck. It seems like I've seen it in Dragapults, I've
No.
seen it in Lost Box, I've seen it in this one now. We've seen it all over the place for whatever reason. Just a one of Klefki. If you're digging in the online results, there's a bunch of just one of Klefkis now out of nowhere, and it makes
I
me
mean, it just shuts off a lot of stuff. Like,
yeah
probably mostly for the Ogre Bolt, if I'm being honest.
yeah because
Ogre Bolt and Lost Zone are like two of the like top performing decks online right now.
it's
So
very good.
Klefki just kind of shuts down both of those.
It is
Like they
very
can't
good.
really do anything
And it could be your
except they're one
Evo.
of Prime
It
Catcher.
can be your Evo user as well, which
Yeah,
is super cool if you're playing an Evo deck. Like you,
yeah.
like, in this specific scenario with Gardevoir playing
I
the
think
Q
it's
Evo.
just so like there's a lot of decks that were playing Flutter Mane before because it technically can't attack, but Klefki does the same thing that you wanted your Flutter Mane to do if you can't like accelerate to it like in Guardy you can.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, it does. But yeah, Gardevoir's super cool there. We could dive into more of the, I guess it's top 32 in this from Podeca book. Pokey. I can't ever say the website's name right.
Odeka.
But there's no D though. Pokeka, I don't know. Pokeka book. Um, there we talked about the Lugias and the Darkrai and the Roaring Moon. The other decks that round up the top 16 are very eye popping, I would say the least. The first one we'll talk about is Dialga. There's two Dialgas in top 16, if I'm reading this website correct. Or he played slightly different lists in day one, day two. Both options are viable. I think it's maybe a 2 card difference.
It's a 1 card difference.
Uh,
No, it is a 2 card
because yeah,
difference.
one of them's playing Tower, one of them's not. Anyways, one
One's
plays the
playing Tower,
Zacian,
one's playing a
or the
play.
Zamazenta, sorry.
Yeah.
One's playing Zamazenta and one played Fluttermane. And then one list is playing 15 energy and one list is playing 14 energy plus Jamming Tower. Which Jamming Tower seems pretty good because you can then 220 stuff that would want a Bravery Charm, right? But overall, it's just Dialga. It's still Andrew Hedrick's basic Dialga list: 3/3 Dialga V Star, 4/4 Beldum Matang, Mew, Greninja, 4 research, 3 boss. We're gonna plow through our day. 4 super rod. Like it's the same concept, and it just shows Dialga's still kind of here. I think it could be very impactful to the format because 280 is still a hard number to hit for some decks. And just being able to attack 2 turns in a row is crazy. How's your Dialga
Yeah.
matchup, Gardevoir? You all right?
Fine.
You like it? I feel like it's one of those
Yeah.
matchups we wouldn't like try out a lot. I mean, I have not played
I've
Dialga
never played against it.
Never,
But
not once.
I was to say I would assume it's fine.
Yeah. We'll find out when the 5% to 10% shows up. I don't think it'll be anything crazy like that. at NAIC, but it'll be there. Some people will play it.
The only thing I can think of that it might be bad is like if I start slow and they can pull off like a 3 turn or a 3 prize turn where they go like kill a Curlia. Well, they can't. Like, they would have to use both bosses to do that, so that's just not really super.
Or Prime Catcher.
Yeah, but thing is, like the deck, your hand is always just full of energies every time I play the deck.
Yeah, I get it. I do like it though. It's a lot of fun, and like
It's super fun. It's a deck that you take to a challenge, and no matter how you do, you're like, yay.
also the ability to count your cards is super cool. Like the put the 4 up on the bottom instead of having to shuffle them back
Yes,
in. That's super cool.
exactly.
It's the most legal way of cheating possible. The next super interesting list, also in the top 16, is Lost Zone Dragapult, and I love this deck. It's a lot of fun, and everyone isn't necessarily clowning me for it. Brock hates it because he hates Lost Box, and he also hates Dragapult. So like Brock's opinions are irrelevant to me right now because he's a hater. But like, it's basically Sablezard with a bigger 320 HP basic, right? You're playing 4 Comfey, 2 Cramorants, a Sableye, and then the 4/4 Dreepy Cloak, 3 Dragapults, 1 Radiant Zard, and you're kind of just going at it. Like I've been playing not necessarily this version a lot, but I played a version, and this is funny too because I played, and Brock's gonna think this is funny. I played this with also I put a Blood Moon or Saluna in my list because 260 is hard to hit. We talked about it, and like why not have 2 Radiant Charizards when you can have 2 Radiant Charizards? But this deck's a lot of fun, and I played Lost Box Charizard, the one that got top 4, and I think it was Lil the beginning of the season. Um, and we're talking about the one that had the Charizard EX in it, and like this is just even a better version of that. Sableye cleans up your Dragapult damage. It seems like it flows really well. Um, I'm playing 2 Temple and a couple of differences. I only play 1 Iono. Like I think Iono is a weird card in Lost Box. I don't like playing 2 or more of it in it. But like that's just nitpicking there. Overall, the concept of the deck is super cool. Do I think it has what it takes to win the event? I have no idea. But I think this is the best version of Dragapult possible right now. And like that's just across the board, right? Whether um it's the second highest one technically, but I value this way more than the Zatu version or the Pidgeot version because you technically don't need to ever put Dragapult in play to win games with this type of deck. You could just play the single prize or Radiant Zard type game and just win through that. You don't have to put Dragapult into play. Any thoughts,
I
Brock?
do. I like Dragapult Pidgeot the most. That's the one that I've liked the most. I do understand the appeal of the Lost Zone version. I do.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't. So I have this conversation before, not with you specifically, but I don't like adding comfy engines into non-comfy decks.
Why do you think it's
Like
not comfy deck? What makes it
it's
not
not
comfy?
because it plays a rare candy.
You don't have to play
That's
the
why I
rare.
think
It plays 1 rare candy. I don't think it counts as a rare candy deck. It plays 1.
okay. I haven't. I thought it was. So, there was a
No.
list out there that was playing four.
No, yeah,
Four
you
rare
don't
candy.
need that. That's
Okay, that's what.
crazy.
Okay,
No,
is this more of like a 2/2 rare candy style?
yeah, no, I actually only play the 1 rare candy too.
Okay,
I
that's
only
different. The
so
one is fine. So I retract the statement a little bit.
no,
But
that's
anyways,
fine. I
I
get what you're
don't
saying.
a deck that I don't like decks that. So the Comfy engine, I feel like I like using engines as clean as possible. And this is like the hyper competitive aspect of me. It's like if I want to play a deck that is Comfy reliant, I'm gonna play Turbo Lost Box or I'm gonna play Guillotine.
No, for
Like
sure. I get that part. Absolutely. I think this is more closer to the Giratina version of the list than you think it is. But it's a
probably.
stage
I haven't played
2.
it.
It's a stage 2 instead of a stage 1. The benefits of this list compared to Tina, you're not reliant on abyss seeking. You don't have to get to 10 right away. Um and airmail or recon directive, whatever you want to call it. I think airmail still sounds cooler.
Airmail.
Airmail. Is basically your a free flower selecting. So this is the worst nightmare of any Lost Box player of all time. And this still does happen. It doesn't make it foolproof. But you get to airmail first and put a resource back into your deck. And potentially get to airmail twice, depending on your buddy Poffin turn 1 or your setup. Right? So your ideal setup is 2 comfy, 2 dreepy. Turn 2 potentially have Dracloaks in play. You have the ability to rare candy into a Dragapult if you can pull that play off. That's what the 1 candy is for. Or late game when you pull off a Mirage Gate candy play. But you don't need it to happen. It's more of a Dracloak is an asset that is beefier than comfy, that has the exact same thing, but you get to keep your resources in deck. So like I also clowned this list when I first saw it, and like I guess when I first saw it online, not this Japan list, I was like, how are you playing a Lost Box deck with only 2 Mirage Gate? And when you start playing it, you realize when you don't need 4 Mirage Gate. Your only attacker that needs energy is Dragapult, and it needs 2 energy. And you're maybe pulling off 3 Dragapult attacks total, and 2 of them are with the same Dragapult. So like the concept behind it is just playing it almost like a Tina list where you don't have to Mirage Gate all the time. You can swap it out, go under Radiant Zard to finish the game, or Sableye to still pull off that 4 prize turn to win the game. And so I think it's a lot of fun. I have it built. It's one of my choices. I think if I'm playing Dragapult, it has to be that one. There's part, and this is the saddest part about me, and I'm such a diehard and like a loyalty purist. Part of me still wants to play Dragapult Charizard, even the deck's garbage. But like, that's another story for a different day. But yeah, the Lost Zone engine, I think, makes it a more viable thing. It's the most control proof way of one, I think, because in the Pidgeot one, you're not playing as many switch cards. You're playing, I think Andrew Mahone's list is now playing the Barrel and Cleffa and Rotom. There's so many different things in that deck. It just seems overpopulated. And this super simple, just classic Lost Box with a bigger attacker. It's just your old school. It's great. Sick. Obviously Brock mentioned this deck a little bit. It's supposed to be the Lugia counter, but I guess Blood Moon Ursaluna made it kind of weird, which 260, as we said, is hard to hit. But there's a Miraidon in top 32. Obviously Miraidon won the Champions League of old, and the list looks super similar to that list that we're talking about, except for they cut a Bravery Charm for a Vitality Band, and that is so when you have Zapdos in play, you can hit 240 with the Miraidon and a Vitality Band to knock out said Raging Bolt. But I think your Raging Bolt matchup is still probably terrible, especially now if they play Sandy Shocks, because Sandy Shocks is hitting 180. I guess it's, yeah, never mind. It doesn't matter at all, actually, because it doesn't knock anything out.
Nope.
So they can just IR bundle around it later, call it a day. So Sandy Shocks doesn't make it at all relevant in this matchup, which I thought it might have for a second there. But I like Miraidon a lot. I texted you about it earlier in the week. I actually played it in an online event. I went 2-1. My one loss was against a Tinglu deck, which was disgusting. And then I had to drop out of the tournament and be a dad for the rest of the day. So I did just go 2-1. I can't even remember what I played against, but I definitely did not miss. I think I played against a Gardevoir, and I wish there was a way to check on Limitless based on my dashboard. You can't, like, there's no way to. Oh, history. Oh, there is. Aha, I found it. I'm just an idiot. I just never knew this. 2-1. I beat a Gardevoir and a Ancient Box. And the Gardevoir I don't know how good the Gardevoir was. The Gardevoir ended up finishing 5-2. So I was one of their 2 losses. They also lost to a Dragapult in round 3. And then they beat Regidrago, Pidgeot, Control, Giratina, and Gardevoir Mirror in round 7. So seems like they did decent. Yeah, I lost to a Tinglu who went 5-2. So anyone who doesn't know about Tinglu better read those cards extensively.
Read the cards.
Bro, it's like I didn't like that was like it was round 3 and there was how many people in this thing? There was 107 people. I was like, bro, how am I gonna play a Tinglu round 3? My first time playing Maridon in 6 months. Like, what are we doing here? I was so upset. I was like, bro, I just dropped. I had to go be a dad. I did. So also I was kind of mad, but I actually had to go be a dad too. Um, but yeah, not great. Not great. Maridon's still not great into Tinglu, if you didn't know. But
I would have never known.
obviously it sounds like based off your initial thoughts, you're not the biggest fan of Maridon. I think the only weakness it does have is Blood Moon or Saluna, technically on paper, right? Like, because you're good into Lugia if they can't survive a hit. For any other attacker besides Blood Moon can't survive a hit against Maridon, including Cornerstone.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Maridon. Not really because of the deck itself. It's just the flow of the deck doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it's definitely weird at first, for sure. Um, and this is 100% a fact. It is the best hands user that is active right now. I think it's better than future hands, right? Because he doesn't need the Maridon turn to power up the future hands.
I mean,
They
that's
have to,
fair.
they use the they use the baby Maridon first, power up future hands. This version of Iron Hands is the only one able to do it turn to on your first turn. Right? Like you can constantly and almost consistently 4 stone for DTE multiple generator. I'm Iron Handsing you turn 1, no matter what your active is. Unless it's a
Yeah.
2-prizer, then I'm gonna hit you with that same combo on a Maridon, and I hit you for 220, which is like deadly. It's probably the fastest deck in the format. Maybe besides this Raging Moon, Raging Moon, besides this Blood Moon, bro. Besides Roaring Moon, how many moons we got, dude? We need to stop having so many moons. Um, maybe besides Roaring Moon is the fastest attacking deck in the format. You don't rely on Sada. You don't rely on any of that. You do rely on generators. That is tough. That is very tough. You might have to motivate once or twice in a tournament. But it's the only deck that I think really uses a squawk ability effectively that we were tracking until this weekend. Right? So there's a lot of good things it has coming with it. Um, we do have some spice in it. It is favored into Raging Bolt Ogerpon, in my opinion. For a couple reasons. One of them is a tech that we're playing. The second one is that they are just so aggressive with boss and prime catcher and counter catcher. You don't need to hit 240. Which is why I'm really curious how Lugia got away with all this in top 4 and only one making it in the top 16. Was it how Maridon was built? Or is there something that I'm not aware of in the Lugia matchup? Right? Like, because like it just makes me feel awkward about Maridon. Like, not a single one in top 8, and there's 4 Lugia there just chilling. Like, I wish I had the bracket too. It just tells us where they finished. Like, what did Maridon lose to not get top 16? My guess is Dialga, based on what's left there.
No, I know one of them lost. There was one in top 16. I know it
It lost to Lugia.
But the only
It was with
Miraidon is
Lugia
top
with the-
32. The only
That's
Miraidon.
released. That's released.
No, because like it's
It-
like one. I think this is every list in top 32, my dude. Because like if you won top 32, then you move into top 16, and then you lost. I think this is every deck for top 32.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like
I
if you
gotcha.
made, you know what I'm saying, like it just cascades down. So like it had to have lost to anything above it in the picture. So it could have lost to Lost Box Dragapult, it could have lost to Dialga, it could have lost to one of the many Lugias, it could have lost to the Roaring Moon, it could have lost to Raging Bull Ogerpon, or those are the only decks ahead of it. That's how I read the Podeca book site. Like I know for a fact it didn't lose to the Goldango, which we'll talk about in a second, in top 32, or the Ancient Box in top 32. If that makes sense, that's how I'm reading the website.
No, I got you.
I wish they do have the bracket. I wish they had the bracket. I really do. And maybe they do somewhere. I'm just not seeing it. But yeah, the biggest thing Miraidon has for it is the fastest Iron Hands user there is. And they still get Heavy Baton. They still play Arvins. They get to play the Forest Seal Stone package instead of the Future Hands does not get to play the Forest Seal Stone package. And you get to play Bravery Charms just like Raging Bolt does. Miraidon has a lot of good things going for it. Especially with Charizard being gone. That was really its biggest tough matchup, was Jar just having 330, right? Like obviously if it lost to Lugia, you know, Lugia having 260 on a Blood Moon is tough for whatever reason, right? Like it's weird. It's weird. I like Miraidon a lot though. I do. We talk about Dialga, talk about Lost Bolt, we talk about Miraidon. The next deck in top 32 is Goldango. And what a shocker. This is the only thing that's crazy to me. It plays the Monkey Dory. It fixes your math into Charizard and Dragapult, technically. You don't need the 7 energy, you only need 6. So it makes sense, I guess. Thoughts on Goldango? Do you have any? I don't have any.
Chinpo. Just play Chinpo.
I guess. I don't know. I think the benefit of Goldango compared to Chien-Pao is you're not reliant on a stage 2 accelerating, right? Like you get other than that, that's the only thing that's different between the two lists. This plays Palkia as well, which Palkia, speaking of Palkia, is a winner of the Underground Depths Area 0 card. Palkia's back, bro. Australia's going to have 8 Palkias in top 8 for sure. There's nothing crazy in there besides the Monkey Door. They do play the Full Metal Lab. So you have to hit it for 290 to get a knockout if that's in play. The next 2 decks are very curious as well. Ancient Box snuck in. I don't know how in the world this happened. It makes 0 sense to me how this happened. You would think Lugia and I guess Lugia is the only one that takes care of this, huh? Saying it out loud, because Raging Bolt have a tough matchup against Ancient Box, just being a single prizer deck.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Ancient Box? They play the Secret Box as well too, which is kind of crazy.
It's Ancient Box.
I mean, it's 3 cards there. They cut a Pokestop to play the Secret Box, just so they didn't have to discard more of them. This list does play Kabalion, which I think you could cut Kabalion pretty safely now with how much Charizard's not involved. I don't know what else you need the Kabalion for. But with Japan being best of 1, like I guess it's kind of tough to take a 1 loss to a Charizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's just Ancient Box. Like it's very similar to a lot of lists we saw at the end of this format. The next one really catches me off guard because it's Chen Pao, but they play a 1/1 Palkia. Any
That doesn't
thoughts?
surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that much.
You like the Palkia? It surprises me a ton.
I don't like it, but like they've played it in the past to start the format, so like it just allows you to accelerate quickly, and 280, like you said with the Olga 280 is kind of just awkward to hit sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. 280s. I mean, but my biggest thing with the 280 being awkward to hit is if it's not weak to lightning, right?
Like
Obviously.
what's hitting besides Miraidon? Like what
Right,
is
Raikou, Lost Box.
sure?
Yeah, I
But
mean,
then you could just Greninja them. That you're not playing it down in that matchup.
I guess I get what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels odd. It just looks strange in there.
It does look
It
strange.
just looks strange. We'll quickly talk about juniors and seniors. Seniors was won by Reggie Ogerpon won the whole thing, but this is the only appearance of Charizard. Charizard finished second in the seniors division. And this is your basic towards Zard. 2 Turos, no Yelchier, 1 Palpad. Actually, no Palpad. Or is that a Palpad? What's the book card? Is that Palpad? They have the fancier arts.
Seniors?
Yeah, the seniors runner up. Is that the Palpad?
Probably.
I
Give
think
me
so,
one
right? They have the cool arts. I love that claymation art for the trainers. I think it's Palpad, but it basically looks like it's towards list plus a Charmeleon.
and a Palpad.
Yeah, instead of the Team Yell's cheer. Yep, I think it's the exact same. And then juniors was won by Lugia, but the Lugia plays the Noivern that Brock mentioned earlier. This is a problem because Noivern just auto wins the Ogre Palm
Ogre
matchup.
Bolt.
Ogre Bolt
They're not
matchup.
playing the cornerstone.
It also instantly wins against Lost Box that doesn't play Dragapult. Instantly wins against stuff like it can't ever be touched by Freddy Fazberg, Blood Moon Ursaluna. And then the runner up in that was the Lugia. It was a mirror in the final one played. The Noivern one didn't. But as you can see in where'd it go? In the juniors runner up, there's the Thornton that I was talking about previously. The Thorntons in the runner up list. They also play the Luxray in there. So it's actually like I didn't. I'm surprised we haven't seen more Luxray with how much Lugia there is. That's a great point. Shout out to that junior for teching the right cards.
They lost though.
They did this. They did this. They did this. That's a lot to ingest. A lot of results. A lot of good conversations. Sounds like you're locked though. None of this changes your opinions on the format. You're in there with Gardevoir. You're set.
Yup. Yeah. It just feels like Gardevoir gives me the best chance to get top 64.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to play very well, but
it's a hard deck. If you don't
I
know,
mean,
like you said, if you don't know it, it's a hard deck to play. But I know you know it for how much you played it, and so
yeah.
hopefully it all goes well, right? Like it's one of those things where like I mentioned it in my conversations. Like I have no idea what I'm playing still. I have
I would sleeve up Lugia.
I have three
If
and
I'm
a
being
half.
honest.
I have 3.5 decks sleeved up, and potentially a fourth, right? Like I have no idea, but
I'd sleeve up Lugia and just roll.
I might, like I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just like I don't want to have to play Lugia mirrors all day either, though. Like it's just like I get what you're saying. Like super good deck, super consistent. Roll with what wins, right? I really don't want to play 8 Lugia mirrors and hopefully go 6-2-1. And hopefully I win all the coin flips. Like
That's fair.
it's also half the reason why Miraidon is so appealing to me at the moment because the only thing stopping Miraidon is Blood Moon Ursaluna. And if I play the right sequence of cards, like I think most of the time you're beating Lugia, right? Like you should. They have to have Lugia in play. You can Iron Hands anything in that deck besides Blood Moon Ursaluna. Like I don't know. Japan's making me feel weird about Miraidon now, but overall successful weekend. We are leaving in 2 days, less than 48 hours till I drive to New Orleans. Brock's leaving on Thursday, so man, a lot of I guess anxiety for me, bro. I get weird about these tournaments. Brock's been to too many of them. He doesn't do it but when you can only go to 2 a year, bro, like it's just hard not to.
I was about to say this is number
It's like your
10.
10th tournament this year.
No,
This
it's
is
7.
I left my
7.
state twice to play Pokemon this year, and this is one of them. And so it's just like, damn, you know. But long story short, we're here to have a good time. It's gonna be an awesome weekend, hang out with friends. This will be my wife's first ever Pokemon tournament ever. Like she's never even been into the card store that we play in locals. Like so,
It's funny.
this is the extreme side of it. It's gonna be a great weekend. I don't think we left anything out. We talked about the main big 6 decks. Is there anything you want to add before we go into the weekend?
No.
Brock's
Just
which play
everybody
mat are you
enjoy.
playing?
I have a sponsor one that I have to play on.
Oh, well then I need to pick one. I have 9 here, plus the EUIC one that I got, which is actually, add another dumb thing. The Pokemon Center mat is the exact same as the one from EUIC.
Yep.
That's dumb.
Yeah, I
That's
think it should be dumb.
I mean, obviously, tip, don't play the competitor mat at NAIC. Could get just jacked.
Why?
Because it could just get jacked, and they just claim it's theirs. This is their NAIC mat. You never heard that before?
No.
Oh yeah, bro. I remember when I was a kid. I was at 2008 Nationals, and people would just try to snag competitor mats left or laying around, and they would just claim them as theirs because they could claim it was their competitor's kit. So whenever I show up to a regional now or NAIC or any of these tournaments where they give you a mat, you leave it at home so that they can't, say it was theirs. Just thoughts. Dude for thoughts. I think I'm gonna do the Gengar one though. It looks sick. How much do you think that's worth now?
What, the Gengar champion one?
Mm-hmm. That's the one from
It's
Memphis.
not. That's a champion. Oh, yours, yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
I also have one. That's why I was like, oh my god.
It's got to be worth something now. Anyways, long story short, we're gonna wrap the pot up here. I was rambling. Biggest thing here is have a great weekend. Safe travels down. I hope you enjoyed listening to this. I hope we added some food for thought. The meta's wide open. Pick your favorite deck and roll with it. It's my advice to myself. It's my advice to you. Grab your favorite deck. Follow as Brock did. Just pick your deck that you've been playing all format and don't switch. You don't have to switch. It's fine. Brock's played Gardevoir now for 9 months and he still loves it.
Played Charizard for a little bit.
For whatever reason, he's like, I'm going to play Charizard for 2 tournaments and I'm going to play Gardevoir for 9 months. Whatever, dude. You just roll.
I like drawing cards.
Play whatever you're comfortable with. No matter what anyone says, Brock's going to clown me for playing Dragapult Charizard with 1 Clef Key in it, and that's fine. But Charizard Dragapult is sick, okay? It's going to be a great weekend. Have fun. Play locally. If you're at local still, watch online. Follow us on Twitter. We're going to be tweeting our results round by round. Hopefully, or maybe Brock doesn't do that. He gets too anxious. He can't tweet round by round. He's like, oh, I tweeted it. I jinxed it type of thing. So I'll be tweeting my results round by round. Brock I might tweet Brock's for his. So he just has to deal with it. Either way, have a great weekend, and we'll hope to see all of you at NAIC.
Peace.
Peace. What a great time.